for 530 days straight.
That's over a year.
That's
and a half.
a year and 5 months.
Hello and welcome. My name is Alex Gonzalez, and with me today is my good old friend J.E.
Hey, that's me.
And please remember that we are not game devs, we're game addicts. How are you doing today, Jay?
530 days, man.
That's longer than my World of Warcraft. I think I added up to maybe 200 days in World of Warcraft, if that. But those are not the times we wasted. Those are, today we are creating something new. Every week, we are not game devs. We'll create a new, exciting video game that I have always wanted to play, but do not have any knowledge or know how to create the wonderful experience that's our video games. And today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 128th IP. We're going to begin with this basic concept. Now, this is going to be a little abstract here, but I want you to stay with me. I want there to be a world where you have quests you have to do and you're a person and you have to talk to other people. But for some reason, something happens where maybe you're a snow globe and there's a bunch of other snow globes and it's a huge one, and some hand comes up and every couple days takes the snow globe, shakes it so everything gets RNG'd and then puts it back. And then you just have to live with it that way.
Okay. My mind goes a couple ways with this. Okay. I have something forming.
I'm thinking about the people, everybody, the buildings.
Let's go with you are what they would call you in Genshin Impact, a traveler. You're not from this dimension, right?
A nomad, a visitor.
Yeah, exactly, a visitor.
Okay.
And you come with I guess we're going to go super video gaming with this. You've lost your memory. You just wake up in this world, right? And you walk around, you do the quests. And let's say there's like a Majora's Mask-esque time where everyone's talking about, hey, 7 days from now, it's the big festival. We wait for this every decade or something, right? And you go along, and then there is our live clock. Let's say it takes 12 hours for a full day in this video game. Like, it's going to be a slow night and day cycle. But once the 7 days happens and the festival happens, the game kind of pushes you into that festival at the end of the 7 days. And then when the 7 days ends, sorry, now that I think about it, 12 days is a really long day and night cycle. Let's cut that down to like 4. Anyway, so 7 days, that's a lot of hours already in this game. Let's cut down to 2 now. So that's in a week. You've spent a dozen and a half hours in this game, and then you're at this festival. It seems like the game's about to end, and then at the end of this festival, you see, like this giant hand come out of the heavens and pick up the world, shake it, and then you wake up at the start, but it's a completely new world. And they're like, hey, in 7 days from now, we have this huge festival, but it's about something else. And there's like new quest lines in this new world and stuff like that. And so maybe your job as the hero is to find out why it's happening, what this festival is about, and kind of like stop this rotation. You know what I mean? Where every 7 days a world gets completely destroyed.
Or figure out, how what's going on or what's happening, because everyone else is maybe attuned to it or they're just playing along. So we maybe just figure out why and how this is happening.
Yeah.
So I want there to be seasons randomized every time you shake it, buildings randomized, people, and then I guess jobs. Would this be 2 adults of a game to do relationships and families as well? I was thinking about just keeping it real, not like it doesn't need to be rated R, just PG, just like, now this is a family. Now this is a family. I was even thinking about making the art style to depict everything like changing like that, being more claymation, if that, or looking like a toy. but it doesn't have to be. It could be like what is that the name of that artist that does like little towns? Thomas Kirkland. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. Like I imagine these just being inside like little snow globes, but I don't imagine them being realistic people.
Okay.
The furthest I'd go is like Pixar people.
I'm okay. Now that you said that, the framework now in my head is working a little bit differently for this game. Where before I was thinking this was going to be like an Outer Worlds-esque experience, like a Skyrim or something like experience, where it's like you have this huge open world and you got to go do all this stuff. But now I see it more like it is.
I'm thinking of it like if we're gonna have to attach it to a video game or an experience, I want it to be more like a Majora's Mask or like what's it called? I forget the name. Where you play as Ness.
Oh, Earthbound.
Earthbound, yeah, where you get to know the town and the people really well, even though they keep switching up their careers, jobs, and families. You know their core personalities that shine through.
Yes. I was thinking it would be even on now like a smaller scale where it's literally this town that, let's say, more like
And maybe the end is you find out you're in a fucking snow globe.
maybe.
That's what it is.
But I'm thinking now it's going to be more like a Harvest Moon sized town. Like it's like a town that, and that's it. Like
A little bit bigger. A little
right?
bit bigger than Harvest Moon.
But like you're confined to this one area. It's not an open world. It's just one
yeah.
city, and then maybe some outskirts, right? And then
Yep.
every time it's randomized, quote unquote, yeah, places are moved, different people. Because in my head, it was going to be just completely different people, completely different areas. Like it's going to go from like Chinese architecture to like Roman architecture. But now I see it more like it's just shuffled around. Where in one playthrough, this person was married to this person, but in this playthrough,
And lived in this building.
they're siblings or something, right? So it's like always a new
Let's try to
permutation of
not
all the
make
characters.
previous spouses siblings if we can avoid it.
Sorry?
Let's try to not make. Let's try to make it so previous spouses don't end up siblings if we can avoid it.
No, I think that can happen.
It can.
My thing is, this game isn't going to
Anything
be
can happen.
procedural like that. What's going to happen is we are going to have like 7 kind of thought out worlds and permutations, and then after that it would be kind of like on a loop if you don't figure it out in time. And so every 7 cities or something, every 7 re-rolls, I guess, you could go back and try to find what you missed, maybe.
And to make this game more fun, I wanted to have, like I said, where there's certain things that the characters carry over with them. Nothing too strong. Man, too bad you never played Undertale. But something of that nature, or if you've watched Westworld, where no matter what, these little AI characters still carry on something. Something bleeds on through. It doesn't have to be heavy, but I think it would add a little bit of mystique to the game.
I think what it could be, and if you're cool with it going a little kind of like darker and grittier, let's say the ending. So like I feel like this game is going to be semi a puzzle mystery game where every reroll you get to bring something back if you've gotten it, right? And what I mean by if you've gotten it, you finish like a certain character quest for one of the characters that live in the city. And then what you're trying to do is there is like a true snow globe world where this person's supposed to be married to this person's supposed to be siblings with this person, and you got to kind of figure that out throughout these rerolls. Like let's say if 2 people are supposed to be married in the real true snow globe, one permutation where they're siblings or something, there's going to be like weird feelings between them where they become estranged or something and they don't talk to each other because they had this weird connection in that particular universe.
Now, if we want to deepen the mystery on top of all that, what if in the last quarter of the game we introduce one new townsperson or villager?
Yeah, definitely.
And then we make it so everyone remembers who they are and it makes you second guess. There'll be some story about how they've always been there, but you maybe never noticed them because they're too shy.
Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe instead of him just appearing randomly, maybe he's always there. You just have to figure out he doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
Like he's in every reroll, but when you get that item that's like, oh, you have an item that's a bouquet from a wedding, and you find out that these people who are never married in any of the permutations, they're supposed to be married in the real thing. You know what I mean? In the real world, they're really married, but in all the rerolls, they're never married.
Story.
You eventually will get all these like items and things from the real timeline, but none of them mention like one character. Like they all kind of mention different people in the city and in the town and stuff, but always there is one character that's never mentioned, and that is the character you kind of have to like single out and find out who it is. And when you do, I guess that's the ending of the game,
where you find out that maybe they're a finger puppet and it's actually the hand playing along as well.
Wow. Okay, sure.
Wow. Why would you say it like that?
I don't know. That's such a like anticlimactic ending. I feel like.
How would you?
I don't know.
Okay, how would you climatize the ending? How would you climax it?
Depending on how it goes. I mean, I'm having very like witchery vibes right now, because there is a character in one of the DLC called I forgot what he's called, but he's like a something Jin or something in Hearts of Stone.
Sounds
right?
really memorable, Jay.
Yeah,
Continue.
yeah. But his role was more memorable because he is evil incarnate, and he shows up, grants
He's the textbook definition of evil.
Yeah, he grants someone like any wish, but when he grants it, everything seems fine of what he's done until it's not, and everything goes to shit, and then he's like, haha, and then he gets your soul or whatever.
So like the monkey's paw.
Yeah. I feel like that's what this character is. He's ruining this town for whatever reason, and you just single him out.
I don't know why I thought of, and that sounds good to me. And maybe he's in charge of the shaking and the resets. But wouldn't it be just the grace if you found out the character and then you look and you take off his clothes and it's just a middle finger, and then it goes and you see the hand come up and take it and shake it?
Yeah. Very Lego Movie-esque.
Yeah, too Lego Movie-esque. All right. It'll be the character. Maybe the character starts running. You chase after it. You go into a room, into a secret room that you've never been to in any of the permutations, even though at this point you know that that the world is like the back of your hand, and then you find out that they've been in charge of shaking everything up.
Yeah.
That they're trying to find a world where maybe they're the ones in charge, and it never happens.
Right. And I would say in every permutation, there's no... Like, I think there'd be some instances where it is like the true timeline, but like
very
something's
close.
off.
Like maybe that's even more tragic when you find out, like when you see like a shaking happening and maybe two couples break and they're like holding each other and crying, and then everything changes and everything's fine again.
Yeah.
And then you find out they were actually true couples.
And I think
like
there should
love.
be one where in a permutation, there are two people who are truly like happy together as a couple, but in the true timeline, they never actually got to meet and they don't know that they're perfect for each other. And in the true storyline, they're actually unhappy for real. And maybe in every single permutation, they're always together and extremely happy. But at the end of the game, you have to tear them apart to like save the rest of the town.
This is going to be so tragic. Okay. We have the do we have the art style down?
in my head, now that it's more of like one town-esque, it looks to me, and I think I kind of understand what look you're looking for in terms of when you mentioned that guy who I don't know of. But when I think of like globes and stuff like that, I think of like those really crappy Christmas animations that come on during the holidays, and it's kind of like,
Have you never seen like a really expensive snow globe?
no, I have, and I kind of know where the characters are kind of stick-like. I don't know how else to describe it. They look like, I don't know, like wooden.
Yeah, like crafted.
Yeah. So maybe it's gonna look kind of like that, where the game kind of looks like what's a example that's kind of more mainstream. Um, Gosh, I don't know. Like there is that one. This isn't
I know what you're
mainstream
talking
at
about,
all.
though. They're gonna be like, they're gonna look like holiday-ish, almost toy-ish, like they belong in a snow globe.
Yeah.
So the music, I think, is gonna be very soundbox-ish, twinkly, almost like it was wound up on the bottom of a snow globe.
So you kind of want the soundtrack to be like music boxy.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly.
Gotcha.
What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
All right. How much are we paying for this game?
Say $30.
Yeah. I'm the I'm the guy in charge of We Are Not Game Devs development team of the AA game. Call me Double Alex. Double A. All right, Jay. I think it's time to get your timer out because we're going to name this game.
Go.
All right. Fake name, but fun name. Shake and Bake.
I was thinking that something along the lines like the town in the globe.
The town in the globe. The town in the globe.
Yeah. Or like
Town in the globe.
like the town through a lens. The village of the sphere.
The village of the sphere.
The
Topsy-turvy town.
the village under a microscope.
Should we just call it Snow Globe?
But I don't think
people
it's a
get-
snow globe. I think it's like just like I
Panorama, like how they sell Pokemon things where they put where basically I like these, by the way, but they go and buy a bunch of plants and succulents, stick them in a glass globe,
yeah.
and then take a cheap toy Bulbasaur, put it in the middle.
What are those
and
things
call it a
called? They're called
habitat.
like biospheres or something like that.
Yeah, I love them, by the way. Like, I really do. But what are we calling this? Adventure Dome? Tipsy Turvy Topsy Town. I don't know what to say. I don't know anything. Shake it and bake it. When the earth quakes. A quaint little town in Maine. Mostly fishermen. Boarders, good people, union men, women. Have families, 2 or 3. Gets cold in the winters. Makes the kids tough. I don't know what I'm saying. I need help with this title.
the village.
You're still stuck on the village.
I want it to have like one of those titles that's like, yeah, like where I'm trying to get at, where it's like the village under the glass curse. or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Why don't we call it the glass curse? Even though no one refers to the curse, and no one will. But maybe now they will.
the glass curse,
Uh-huh.
sure, in 3 minutes and 7 seconds.
All right, let me give you a little summary of the glass curse. You arrive at this town as a traveler, a roamer. Oh my gosh. You're the only new person everybody else has seen, except for one other. You're the second new person to the story. I just thought it was important. And what you find is every couple of days, every week in this town, they do a festival celebration and everything changes, including who the people were, their jobs, their spouses, and even their families. You must get to the bottom of what's going on in, what's the name again?
The glass curse.
The Glass Curse. All right, Jay. So we got a game here. Would this be fun, and would you want to play it?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I love a good mystery game, and I like solving mysteries and puzzles and stuff because there's not enough games that do that. Like, it's weird how little like mystery solving games that there are. You know?
Yeah, they just expect you to go along with everything.
Yeah, like, or it's just the narrative that they're telling. You never have to solve anything in video games, which I think is weird now that I think about it. But yeah, man, and it just seems like my kind of game. Like, it's more walkie simmy as well, and I love walkie simmy games. Yeah, I'll have a great time with this. What about you, Alex?
This would definitely be a game I'd want to play. It'd be interesting. It'd be one of those times where you'd have to make the town really, really. Sorry, I just got a text message, and because it's on election night, it makes me worried. It was innocuous. So we'd have to make the town really, really easy to fall in love with, all these characters, and get really interested to see where things go. But I would definitely love it. I'd figure it out. It would be great. I'd probably text you stupid stuff like, yo, Leslie was finally my spouse on the reroll, dude. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know your character was actually. I thought your character was like the new
Could
dude
you do
in town.
that?
Huh?
I wonder if you could do that. Is that
Maybe in
something you
every
could add?
permutation, there is one girl that is always like the girl that you kind of. The first person you meet in the first permutation is the girl that you kind of like are pushed to having like a crush on, but then in the second permutation, that girl's like married or something, and then you get a new girl that's that role, and then in the next, it's a different girl that's in that role, and then all these girls are in different roles. There's always going to be that one girl that
Your first waifu.
right, but what I'm saying in terms of the true timeline, there is a girl that doesn't ever get anyone just because she's too hip or whatever to like be with anyone that's, you know, like a suburban town dude. She like kind of wants like a big city boy or whatever, and there are none in this small town.
She was just put into the wrong place. So, moving on from that, what game studio would you choose to make The Glass Curse the best?
That is a good question, Alex. Let me think on that. Do you have one?
I would say Double Fine, easy. Another one that I would use would be Rare.
Mm.
Maybe not Rare. Let's strike Rare. No. It's tough. It's tough.
I guess I would give this to it's going to change so much of how this game is going to feel, but let's go with Atlas or like even
It's going to be so stylish.
yeah, like
That whole shakeup of the town is going to be its own cutscene that's like 4 minutes with music and everything, to the point where it's not a happy thing, but you're going to be looking forward to it because of how things change up.
I've got another one, and I think they would actually be
Another one.
my number one choice to make this game. Game
Number
Freak.
one. Oh, because they're doing something like The Town.
The Little Town or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that game is called. I haven't played it yet. But it's not just that.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's out. It's been out for a while. I think almost like a year now.
What the fuck happened? Did we like it? I didn't hear anybody.
I don't know. I own
Wow.
it. I haven't played it yet. But
Wow. Okay.
I think the reason why I want to give to Atlas or like Game Freak or like Team Danganronpa or something like that is
Someone you want to be in Japanese hands.
not that. Like, I just want the characters to have unique personalities that are like very strong, like characters in terms of like, you know how in Japanese games it's like there is the one that is super emo, there's the one that's super sporty. There, like, you could pick out the archetypes really well, and I feel like the characters would be easier to remember and resonate with if they were more archetypal characters. I can't say that word.
I see.
Instead of having
Archetypal
them
characters.
be more realistic characters, because if they were more like one style of person rather than real person that's layered and stuff, it's just easy to remember them throughout the multiple permutations. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. And now the final person I give it to, based on everything you told me, inspired me to give it to a one-person team, Team Salvato. This game would not look as great because it's just one person, but he did Doki Doki Literature Club,
Gotcha.
and there were some twists. And I think having a mystery and the way he created ambience with the mystery and like tone would be fantastic.
What was Doki Doki prequel to? Because it
isn't.
I thought it was a free game that was given out as an advertisement to a future game that was coming out.
Are you talking about Undertale and Deltarune?
No, I'm talking about Doki Doki. I'm gonna look it up.
No.
Continue.
All right. And with that, our 128th IP has gone gold. We look hope for you to this experience that will probably never release. You can write to @poundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We are still learning how to make this show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which you caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if they ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review The Glass Curse, the video game we just created today. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name is AG.
And I'm JE.
Thank you. And please remember that we are not game devs.